Calm down, calm down. It's just me. Oh, what now, Mr. Sulky Pants? Did you honestly think I wouldn't spend any and all time I could with you? Especially since we haven't seen each other for quite some time. I've missed you. I've also missed teasing you, correct, but I also missed you. Go on, sit back down. It's not anything I haven't seen before. Yeah, I know you have a towel wrapped around you. My point still stands. There we go. Too hot. Good. You really need to stop squirming. Unless you're trying to tear off my towel in the most convoluted way. Yeah, I thought not. So, what have you been up to with your school break, other than not taking the time to see me sooner? It's been really lonely here without you. Fair enough, fair enough. I imagine there aren't too many chances for you to catch up with your high school friends. How are they all doing? Oh, God, no. Him? The guy who always brought his iPad to school so he can play Minecraft Pocket Edition during lunch? I mean, fair enough, but still. Well, I suppose if he could get married, then there's hope for the rest of us. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. I mean, whenever I get news that my high school friends or classmates are getting married or having children, it just makes me wildly uncomfortable. I mean, it was honestly just yesterday we were laughing at each other for answering questions wrong in a math class. Now all of a sudden you think you're old enough to start a family? God. I haven't been doing much. Just, helping around the resort recently, until I can figure out what I want to do with my life. I don't really have too much of a plan in mind, but knowing me, I'll always figure it out. Well, thank you for your vote of confidence. Hold still. I have to put some conditioner in your hair. Yeah, it's to protect it from the minerals in the hot spring. Don't tell me you didn't do this last time you were here. Of course not. Hold still. Here we go. Just a bit right here. You've been talking to the locals, haven't you? I'm surprised, actually. You're not usually one for fairy tales or folklore or even talking to strangers, but I suppose in a place like this, it's a little bit difficult to avoid. Well, this resort was built outside of a town, according to legend, that was once called the Mountain Kingdom. Back when dragons ruled the skies and krakens ruled the seas, there was an emperor that overthrew his brother's reign. He burned down palaces, executed lords and ministers and consorts alike, all except one. When the smoke finally cleared and the dust settled, only one palace within the wall's inner sanctum stood, the Lotus Palace. It was said that the consort who was bestowed the title of Lady Lotus is protected from earthly threats. Her power and influence transcended the purview of the emperor himself, for she does not answer to mere mortals, no matter how close to the gods the Emperor may be. Lady Lotus was furious when she met the Emperor for the first time, but the Emperor himself was love-struck. He made her his consort, much to her chagrin, and although he was devoted to her, her anger continued to rage on. The consort who has the title of Lady Lotus is destined to be alone. She is subjected to a life of solitude, serving the goddess that bestowed that title onto her. It'd be more accurate to call her a nun or a shrine maiden, as opposed to a consort, but that's the way these things go. She lost the few things she could call her own that night. More specifically, the few friends she had. She had lived a lonely and miserable life, and the Emperor only made it worse. However, after years of pining and cajoling and apologizing, the lady forgave the Emperor, and even agreed to be his Empress. Together, the two ruled the valley with grace and fairness, bringing prosperity to their people and posterity. According to legend, on the night Lady Lotus finally forgave the Emperor, the two had gotten lost in the woods and came upon a small waterfall. The two bathed in the lake beneath it, and as the water swept away the leaves and branches that collected in the pool, it also swept away her resentment and his sins. Flowers, more specifically lotuses, bloomed as the water trickled by, and so did their love. The lotus's blooming was a sign of her goddess's approval, but it is just a legend. People have been coming here ever since, especially couples who want to strengthen their bond or receive some luck for their relationship. After all, if Lady Lotus was able to forgive her bloodthirsty tyrant of a husband, then there should be hope for the rest of us after all. Wouldn't you agree? Yes, it is a lovely story, although I do take a few issues with it. At the end of the day, it is just a story. Not to mention, it does well for business. Which goddess does she serve? Not entirely sure about that one. Like I said, it is just a story. Can't imagine living a life like that, though. Constantly surrounded by people who are free to explore their inhibitions and build relationships, whilst I am subject to a life of solitude, unwillingly and unwittingly. But I suppose the protection from earthly harms has its perks. There. All finished up. Shall we head to the hot spring now? No one's really there since it's supposed to be closed, but you, my friend, have special privileges since you're a family friend. Come on. After you. I really needed this. Today's been absolutely insane. Yeah, we usually get an influx of tourists around this time, so gotta do what you gotta do. You would think I have more opportunities to stoke in here since I work here, but on most nights I'm so tired after work I just pass out the second I hit my bed. Though, on the subject of there being hope for the rest of us after all, I wonder if I'll ever experience a love like that. Sure, the story didn't have a happy beginning, and the circumstances surrounding it were convoluted to say the least, and that is putting it quite lightly. In the end, they were devoted to one another, and lived together happily for the rest of their days. Or so the legends say. Fair enough. You're right. If Lady Lotus and the Emperor figured it out, so can we. I know I already said this, but I missed you when you were away. We never really got a chance to talk about things. The last time we were here, never really figured out what we were. But, that doesn't really matter right now. No, it doesn't. What? If you're so opposed to me sitting in your lap like last time, then tell me, and I'll move to the far side of the spring. I thought not. You're right. It's something we can think about later. For now, I just want to lay here with you and just relax. And like the resentment and sins that washed away the legend, I want all my fear and doubt surrounding us too as well.